For the past couple of years, I've done videos talking about Texas Frightmare Weekend. My wife and I have been every year for as long as I can remember. It's one of my favorite shows of the year. And this year's no different, right? We were dead set on attending. We could only make it out for one day this year on Friday. It's a bit of a shame. We had prior engagements. That's totally fine. Friday's my favorite night to go anyway. There's so much energy, so much buzz. But our approach, and my approach specifically looking for different things to pick up, was a bit different this year. First and foremost, we really wanted to have a bit more laid back experience, right? Last year, we got out there extremely early, waited in line for over an hour to get into the venue to make sure I could secure Trick or Treat Studios' exclusive Leatherface figure. This year, however, we really didn't feel any pressure to, one, get out there early, wait in line, and be in the venue as soon as it opened. So sat down, had some dinner, made our way over to the venue. It was in walking distance, the restaurant we ate at. And to our surprise, even an hour after the doors had opened, there was still a line of people waiting to get in, albeit much smaller. But that just goes to show you how many people attended this year's show. And I say it every year, I feel like this show is just getting more and more popular. And recently, I've had tremendous luck finding some really cool retro and vintage toys at toy stores when I've been out of town, at these little local toy shows, local flea markets, and antique malls. So I didn't feel a tremendous amount of pressure to really look for that stuff. Doesn't mean it wasn't tempting. As a matter of fact, Trick or Treat Studios did yet another exclusive Leatherface figure, but I just didn't feel the pressure to have to get in there to try to secure it. I was keeping my head on a swivel for just some different things, right? Some other kind of cool stuff to add here to 2-day rentals and just really soak up all the really cool energy and vibes of opening night at Texas Frightmare Weekend. We could only make it out on Friday this year. Like I said, totally cool. It's the busiest day, it always is, and even just being able to get in some of these booths and maneuver around, I felt like it was even more challenging this year. It was almost like a line to wait to get into some of these little small booths. But that's, again, totally cool. We just love being there and love soaking it all in. For those that are familiar with Texas Frightmare Weekend, that have attended in the past or make it a point to go every year, you kind of know, right? You kind of know what to expect a little bit. Doesn't mean there's not surprises there. Case in point, this really cool booth here, Coffin Creeps. I don't remember them in years past. They had these really awesome sort of vintage-inspired, retro-inspired dolls. And they actually do have some for pre-order, which are, fall in line with the Universal monster, Frankenstein's monster, Wolfman, Dracula. So had they had one of those there, I probably would have picked one up. So I'm going to be tempted to want to pre-order one of these, but stuff like that, right? Wasn't expecting to see. I tapped the brakes and didn't pick one up. That's what I love about the show. You kind of know what to expect. You know there's going to be good shit to find. You know it's going to be awesome. And the temptation to spend a ton of money and that sense of urgency in the moment, it's hard. But like I said, I didn't feel the urge this year. Like I said, I wanted just to kind of relax and take it all in, but it doesn't mean it's not fun going through all these booths and just seeing all the really cool stuff that these vendors bring. So a vendor that was high on my list to visit was TerraVision. And I found some really cool stuff there last year. I picked up the Toxic Crusader cassette tape and the Unsolved Mysteries soundtrack on cassette tape, which I thought was super quirky. And that's just it, right? They really put a lot of pride in the preservation of both film and movie score. And it's not just reissues that they put out there. A lot of their stuff that they put out on physical media, this is the first time that it's ever been available. And I just love what they do. I love their approach to how they go about in choosing what film scores to bring to vinyl or cassette or CD, what things to bring to Blu-ray or VHS. So I knew that I was going to find some really cool stuff there, and I got a chance to talk to the owner, Ryan. A solid dude, really cool, and I definitely recommend checking them out. You can find them at terra-vision.com. I'll put something up here on the screen for you to see. and you can order stuff from them. And if they're ever at a show that you're attending, go check out their stuff. It's absolutely incredible. So I picked up Ghoulies original soundtrack on cassette tape and Waxworks original soundtrack on cassette tape. These cassettes and these pieces of physical media are really made with a lot of love and care. The Ghoulies cassette tape is like this black marble, and the Waxworks one is like this kind of blue marble, and they're just a lot of fun. And I've been kind of getting back into sort of expanding my cassette tape collection recently. Probably not going to go crazy with it, who knows, but I do like that cassettes are small, they store well. I love throwing on a cassette tape as much as I love throwing on a VHS tape when I'm at 2-day rentals, working on a video or working on a custom or something like that. Speaking of VHS tapes, I also picked up Dante's Inferno on VHS. This was his last copy, and he cut me a deal on it. I had like 20 bucks left, and he was like, yeah, I'll take it for 20, no big deal. And I thought that was really kick-ass, so thank you, Ryan. And so if you've ever seen this film, it's like a fever dream. It tells the story of Dante's Inferno. It's a silent film from 1911. And so what I do like about this is it's just really cool, again, atmosphere. It's one of those ones you can kind of put on maybe on the week of Halloween night, or, however it is, and just have a really cool atmosphere. But, something kind of cool to add to the VHS collection that I'm not going to stumble across anywhere else. And that's what TerraVision does so damn well, is they bring these sort of oddball cult sci-fi horror films to physical media. And a lot of times, if not all the time, it's the first time that this stuff's ever been available in some sort of physical media release. So props to them, props to TerraVision. Go check them out. Highly recommend buy some stuff from them. If they're at a show that you're attending, stop by their booth. I promise you, you won't be let down. So this booth right here, printedinblood.com, I don't remember them being at Frightmare before. Maybe they were. Again, it's easy to be overwhelmed and miss things. But I really love what they have going on. And essentially, they'll take a movie and they'll curate all this art that is made by fans of that particular movie, and they'll put it all together in a collection in a book. And, some of it's not necessarily just art by fans. It's, media from different countries and things of that nature. But I think it's a fantastic idea, and these are made of the utmost quality. And so we picked up the Jaws book. I mean, how could you not? Jaws is one of the greatest films ever made, and it's such a love letter to that movie, but it really does a service to the fans of that film, their art, and being able to combine it all into one collection. I have books similar to this. I have one called Souls Art, and it's basically all the From Software, Dark Souls, Bloodborne. It's fan-made art that kind of tells a story within itself, and this is very similar to that. So these kind of things I just love. Very unique, very different. These guys at Printed Blood were awesome. I almost picked up the Aliens one, and I kind of wish I did, right? I'm such a huge fan of Aliens. I'm surprised I didn't, but if you bought a book, they gave you a free poster. So I was able to still get a little Alien merch when I was there. But so very cool. Go check them out, printedinblood.com. These books are amazing, and I think you'll really enjoy it. If they have one of your favorite movies, you can kind of have this out as a coffee table book, and they're just really fun to flip through. Misfit Toys out of Houston, the past couple of years, I've had really good luck picking up some stuff from their booths. This year, their focus was mainly on VHS tapes. As you'll see here, they had just a ton, and almost overwhelmingly so. What I did find at another booth, and shame on me, I didn't even see what this booth was called, who the vendor was, so I do apologize about that. But I found The House of the Devil on VHS. This is a newer release from like the mid-aughts, I believe Ty West. And what's funny is when I saw this movie, I thought to myself, this movie just seems made to be watched on VHS. And I even think they did a release initially when this film came out, kind of a limited run on VHS. And I've always thought, man, it'd be cool if I ever saw that release. I don't think this is that same one. This one's kind of done in a renter clamshell, which I love even more. It kind of looks like it came from a video store in the 90s. But Ty West's aesthetic in this film, the whole approach, the music, the way it was shot, it's almost like it was meant to be watched on VHS. And so I was really happy to bring this home and find this, because it is one that I've kind of been on the lookout for. Just something different, right? It's kind of this weird parallel universe where movies were still being put out on VHS. And I think if there's like a newer film that was meant to be watched on VHS, this is definitely one of them. Another vendor, another booth that I was dead set on making a stop down at was Neon Culture. And last year I picked up the little basket case, Bilal squishy kind of doll figure, and it was fantastic. And so I had to see what he brought this year, and it was no exception. He had these little mini retro looking TVs. And what's awesome about them is he's preloaded them with trailers and commercials from like all my favorite horror movies. And, you know, it's just a neat little thing you can put on your desk at work maybe. I think I'll stick it here at 2-Day Rentals, and you can actually load even more content on there. You just flip through the channel, little static pops up, and you get yet another trailer. The particular one he sold me is actually a unique one because it has a huge variety of different ones. A lot of the ones he was selling were themed, right? It's a Nightmare on Elm Street, or you kind of have specific movies. This one had just a huge variety, and with the ability to add more stuff to it, I just think it's so sick. It's just a neat little thing, something unique, something different, something you don't see all the time. Neon Culture, check them out. I think they have a website, they have Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. Go see what you can pick up from them online, or if they're at a show that you're attending, must stop down. That guy always brings unique stuff, really, really cool stuff. And so this is one of those kind of things. It's like, man, this is a no-brainer for me.
A place that is just as real, but not as brightly lit. A dark side.
And of course, there's the staples that have been at every Texas Frightmare weekend that I've ever been to. Pallbearer Press. Those guys are really awesome, super nice. I love talking with them. They have cool t-shirts, cool retro toys, really neat custom horror themed figures that, you know, they're, you know, very, very limited runs. Just all sorts of really neat stuff. I didn't pick anything up from them this year, but I always like to stop down and see what they have. Kind of the same thing with Toy Matrix, one of the larger booths there. Man, it's kind of the same sort of thing, right? Really awesome t-shirts, posters, new toys, retro toys, stuff that is just high-end, hard to find, some kaiju thrown in there, soft vinyl. I mean, these guys have a little bit of everything, and I always love to see what they bring. Again, didn't pick anything up, but that's totally cool. But it's just, you know, Texas Frightmare weekend, I think next year we're going to try to make it all 3 days, right? Maybe go out on Friday, soak up the cool vibes. And then I always feel that Saturday and Sunday are much more casual experiences. And especially, you know, if that's what we're looking for, probably would have been a better day to go on Saturday or Sunday. However, this year we just couldn't make it work. We had prior engagements, like I said. So I think next year we're going to try to make it all 3 days. And even do some of the, you know, extracurricular stuffs they have. They have Q&A panels. They have a costume contest. Who knows? Maybe 2-Day Rentals will find a really kick-ass costume to try to go win. I doubt it, man, because there's some people there that go all out. But yeah, you know, and Sundays, you know, in years past when I've been on Sundays, that's the time when you can really make some deals. You know, I've done that before where I've bundled some stuff together on a Sunday and basically, you know, got stuff for free with what I walked away with and the price that they gave me. But I really do love this show. There's a little something for everyone. And, you know, my mission this year is like, hey, hypothetically, right? If I wasn't also a toy collector amongst all the other things that I collect, what would be some other things I could gravitate towards? And so I feel like it was a success for me. I thoroughly enjoy it. I can't recommend this show enough. And if you make a point to come, I would suggest doing all 3 days, right? See what it's like on Friday with that initial buzz. and that energy. And then maybe, kick around the Metroplex DFW area on Saturday, make a point to stop down on Saturday, then go back on Sunday to see what kind of deals you could find. But they're a little something for everyone. It's my favorite show that I go to, and I can't say enough good things about it year in and year out. I kind of sound like a broken record, but I can't urge people enough. If you have the means to get here and go check it out. So that's the stuff I found. That was my time at Texas Frightmare. We wanted to take it a bit easy this year, have a bit more casual kind of experience, laid back, no pressure, and just challenge myself to see what other things I could find outside of the normal haul of things I get. Really cool horror-related figures and collectibles, but just some unique things and some stuff that I was definitely on the lookout for, like the House of the Devil VHS. And Dante's Inferno was another one. I'm kind of on this Dante's Inferno kick. My favorite band, or one of my favorite bands of all time, Boards of Canada, are releasing a new album this year, and it's like the first time in 13 years. The title of it's called Inferno. So I've kind of been on this Dante's Inferno kick. I don't know how much the album will relate to that literature, but nonetheless, it's always cool to see what kind of stuff you can find at Texas Frightmare weekend. And viewers, people that are watching this, what did you see? Did you see anything that you would have picked up? What did you think about the stuff that I grabbed? Would it have been stuff that you would have grabbed? I'd like to know. And also, if it's your first time checking out 2-day rentals, I can't thank you enough for stopping down and checking out and seeing what I do. I love to talk about movies, movie merchandise, video games, music from time to time. And so, do me a favor. If you like what you kind of saw here, share with a friend, hit like, subscribe. It goes a long way, and I really do appreciate it. And it's like I say at the end of all my videos, let's be kind as we rewind and fast forward through time. Thank you so much for stopping by 2-day rentals.